Hi, Mayor Ron Murkowski. I have with me today Councilmember Jerry Presley from District 1. Jerry, it seems appropriate to say welcome back.
Well, thank you, Ron. I appreciate it.
Because we've been together previously for 8 years.
That's correct.
So why did you decide to run for council again?
You know, I was off for 2 years, and an issue came up with the comprehensive plan, and that made me get interested in serving again on the city council.
Well, all I can say is welcome back.
Thank you very much.
You've contributed in the previous years a lot, and so I thank you for your service to the city for past efforts, for present efforts, and future efforts.
That's right.
Because we're not going to let you go quite so easily next time. Well, I don't know. We make it. I don't know if we'll get another 8 years out of you.
Right.
Amy might think otherwise, which brings me to the point of family. You moved to the city in '93.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, the reason why we moved here is exactly because of the family. My kids were 3, 4, and 5, not yet in school. And so I investigated the school system, figured out that we needed to move from the district that we were in, and selected, just based on research, 2 different school systems, and it's either the Cherry Creek School District or the Littleton School District, and didn't have any preference on the cities, but absolutely moved here because of the Cherry Creek schools.
Jerry, what do you like most about Greenwood Village, District 1, and your neighborhood?
Great question. Probably the parks and trails, and especially the Highline Canal is probably the amenity that I value the most. It's a wonderful opportunity to go on the Highline, to meet neighbors, to socialize. It's just a terrific asset.
And I think one other thing that I'm going to take a point of personal privilege here and say the one thing that has always impressed me about Jerry Presley, he's the most charitable individual I've known, and his type of charity is very quiet and unassuming, and the people that are the recipients of it usually don't even know about it. So thank you again for what you do for our city.
Ron.
As I have said to other folks, we don't have challenges in Greenwood Village, we have opportunities.
Yeah.
What opportunities do you see during the next 2 years for the city from your perspective?
Well, I think development is certainly a very, very important issue to be working with. I also see that as an opportunity, as you say, not necessarily a challenge. We are fortunate to live in an area where the tax base is so solid that I believe that we need to continue to promote and preserve our tax base. It's that tax base that allows the city to provide services far, far superior than most cities are able to do so.
What do you think your constituents particularly might expect from your activities for the next remainder of your term?
Well, I have long believed that a council member should listen. It's been said 100 times, times 100, that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and there's a reason. And I believe that the first and foremost role of a council member is to not quickly decide, but to listen to others and then make a decision. So they can expect me to listen.
You've had something I know about Jerry that I want to share with the rest of the citizens that really warms the cockles of my heart, is his interest in public safety. I think over the years you've showed a stronger interest than most and you share it with me in public safety. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, the police department, I believe, is the core of the services that the city provides. You know, I've heard you say, and I agree with you, that the first duty of government is to promote safety. And certainly at the city level, our police department is absolutely superior. As I mentioned, when I first moved in, my kids were 3, 4, and 5, and the very first time I had contact with the police department was probably 3 or 4 days after we moved in, and a police car came, saw me outside, saw the kids outside playing, And he stopped. He went around to the back of the car, opened up his trunk, and pulled out a couple of coloring books. Made his introduction, and that just blew me away that I was living in a city where the police department was promoting the notion of community policing, which I didn't know anything about until after I was involved in the city. But it's just a absolutely fabulous organization, and you are absolutely right. I love our police department.
One other thing that most of you don't know about Jerry is he has a great historical connection to what is become a very, very large business in an industry in our country called cable. To share with our audience your interactions with Bill Daniels and who he was.
Bill is widely known as the father of cable television. He lived in Denver. Bill was a legendary person, not only a terrific businessman, but a very well-known humanitarian. And Bill's values were certainly ingrained in me by just being around him. I was fortunate to have worked very closely with him, along with John Seaman. And again, the notion of principles, the notion of personal values and ethics was absolutely utmost to him. And I believe that has rubbed off on me just being around him for so many years.
Jerry, I want to thank you for coming and spending time with me today and getting you introduced to not only your former and current District 1 residents, but also the city and all the folks, including those on the ships on the seven seas.
Ron, it's good to serve with you again. Thank you very much.